Hey guys, I am excited to be back on my own main channel just because I have so much content that I want to share with you guys regarding all kinds of tips and topics about chatbot marketing. So you can expect that I will be returning each and every week with a few chatbot marketing tips and or step-by-step tutorials. So in this video, I want to share my own setup that I have currently inside my own main chatbot. I'm completely rebuilding my own chatbot just to make sure that it's completely up to date with all the best practices, and I am actually going to implement a few changes still towards this chatbot. The process I want to share with you, because the particular topic that I want to discuss today is really important, and it allows you to basically get a better understanding of how active and how much value your current bot subscribers are. And the topic that I have in mind to share today with you is lead scoring. And lead scoring is really important because it determines how active and engaged your current subscribers are inside your chatbot and are engaged with the content that you are sharing, right? So at a particular moment in time, you need to decide for yourself what is the best time to send an offer towards your subscribers. In this case, lead scoring will help you determine that, because the higher the lead score, the better the qualified the user is if you implement it correctly. So I'm going to show you the starting process that I am going to implement lead scoring into my new chatbot build. And basically, if we take a look there, you will see that I have a few workflows set up. I have function flows, I have workflows. Inside the workflow section of UChat, basically a workflow, if you do not understand it correctly, a workflow can be considered a back-end process. And with a back-end process, we mean that we can assign certain things towards the user. So set certain custom fields, add tags, maybe do an external request, stuff that a user does not need to have inside the conversation flow with your chatbot, right? So a workflow is basically a back-end process that handles all these kinds of processes. So if we take a look on the workflow section, you will see that I have a few workflows set up. I have a workflow to add one lead score point towards a specific user. So if we take a look there, you will see that I have a custom field called lead score. This is a number field. I'm going to increase the lead score +1. So instead of copy and pasting this block at several sections inside my chatbot, I'm just going to trigger this workflow directly. And this means that I only have to set up the workflow once, not have to redo every single lead score action, right? I'm just going to trigger this workflow. And as you can see, I have also add lead score points +3, but I'm also going to deduct lead score points. So if a user is not interacting with my content and the value that I want to give them as I expect, as I want them to, I'm also going to decrease the lead score, because that is equally as important, right? Because you will need to determine, okay, a user is not that into this piece of content, but it's really important for me to show them this kind of content, right? Or ask them for their email, for example, and they don't want to give the email. Then I'm going to deduct the lead score points, because the value of this particular lead is less than a lead that gives their email or phone number, right? So this is a really important structure for you to make sure that you understand that you're not only going to add lead score points, but you also need to deduct lead score points. And as you can see, I'm going to deduct by 1 and also going to deduct by 3. And as you can see, I have a bunch of other workflows set up as well, like exporting user details to a Google Sheet, a new user export, and stuff like that, right? So if I go back towards my main chatbot, where I'm completely rebuilding everything from scratch, if I take a look at my new main flow, you will see that this is basically my main onboarding flow, right? My main flow. And here I have a bunch of conditions set up, right? If the lead has a tag in existing user, this means that this user is coming back towards the chatbot, and then we're going to show some relevancy like welcome back first name. I'm then going to check if they have the tag for GDPR, consented to receive messages. If yes, we are going to send them towards a main menu because of the tags. And this structure I'm going to explain inside of a new video on my channel at a later stage. But this is basically connected to what I call a content loop, a fantastic way of structuring your chatbot. But for now, we are going to add these tags and then send them to a particular flow. If they do not have this consented to receive messages, I'm going to send them towards a function flow. And here is my first section where I want to have lead scoring available. So if we take a look inside of this get users main consent, right? I'm going to open the subflow. And inside the subflow, I'm going to give some essential data, like you already probably know, but want to make sure that although these messages are created by me, I'm going to send them automatically. This way, I am there for you 24/7. So a little bit more information that it is not me directly behind the chat, because a lot of users assume that as soon as they type something and I respond that I'm the actual person behind this. So I want to make clear to them that it's automated and what they can do to also get in touch with me directly, or if they want to unsubscribe, what to do then, right? So I give them some essential data. If they say unsubscribe me, they go towards an unsubscribe flow. If they say, however, yep, let's start, so they consent to receive messages, right? So they're fine with me sending those automated messages. Then I want to increase the lead score. So instead of adding tags only, I'm also wanting to add lead score points. And for me, this is a really important consent to be able to receive and send messages towards this specific user. So what I want to do is I want to trigger a workflow directly, and instead of using a go-to block to go towards that specific workflow, we have an action that we can use. If we go under the advanced actions, we will be able to go and trigger a workflow. If we just press that, we can basically go and trigger the workflow by pressing the drop down, and you will get access to all the workflows that you set up. For me, I want to add 3 lead score points because giving consent to receive messages is a really important feature for me, right? This qualifies a lead into being receptive to get and receive content from me. So this is 1 point. Right? So this is one base point where I basically add 3 lead score points towards this user. I'm going to publish this, but instead on the unsubscribe, I want to deduct points. I'm not going to do that here because in the unsubscribe flow, I have something that I want to deduct or add points to. I'm going to handle this inside the unsubscribe flow itself, right? So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to follow the structure. So I've completed this flow. A user says, okay, I want to receive messages. They get tags applied. They get the lead score added. And now I'm going towards the other flows themselves. So the next flow would be to go, and if the user has a question, they basically can go towards another section of my chatbot, right? And again, this whole content loop idea, I'm going to explain at a later date for the ones who are not knowing about the content loop relevancy and the structure behind it, right? But if we take a look inside the different kinds of flows that I have a main menu, I have ask a question, customer service FAQ, and we also have the unsubscribe section here under the customer service. So if we go here and open the subflow, you will see that I'm first going to ask a question. Are you sure you want to unsubscribe? Maybe they mistyped, or they wanted to see what would trigger if they press the button or type stop inside my chatbot, right? So they could say something like wrong button, and then they go back towards the main menu inside my chatbot. If this is the case and they just wanted to press, I actually appreciate them trying out the chatbot and see what kinds of actions are behind the choices they make, right? So in this case, I could say add tags and subscribe to chatbot. This is not really needed. So I'm going to say add tags plus add lead score points. And then I'm going under the advanced actions, going to trigger a workflow, and then I'm going to add one point in this case. So I'm going to trigger the workflow, add lead score points +1. There we go. Now, if they say, yes, I'm sure, I want to unsubscribe, I'm going to give them one last chance to stay subscribed. I'm going to give them something of value, like a free gift, a little gift. If they say yes, right, I'm also going to increase their lead score points. So here I'm also wanting to go and add lead score point because they are going to stay inside my chatbot and they want to basically receive more content from me. So although they wanted to unsubscribe first and they say, I'm sure, they are still going to receive more content from me and they are inside my chatbot still. So I'm going to actually let them trigger a workflow to add 1 point towards them. But you can see how easily you can add these lead score points as well, right? Now, if they say no thanks, then I'm going to basically unsubscribe them, unsubscribe from the chatbot. I'm not going to delete the user because I'm always giving a button to get back inside the chatbot itself. So I'm only going to unsubscribe them from the bot. And actually I need to change this because if I say unsubscribe, I cannot add any actions towards them. So I'm going to basically add a tag event unsubscribed. And in turn, this will trigger a Google Sheet update that I have for all my subscribers, where I basically update the status of unsubscribed inside that Google Sheet. But I also want to deduct 3 points here. So I'm going to say unsubscribe plus deduct lead score points. And again, you can go towards add item, advanced actions, trigger workflow. And inside this workflow, we are going to deduct 3 lead score points. I'm going to drag this above the unsubscribe from bot action so I can apply all the actions and the lead score points and then unsubscribe the user. Now, if they say let me back in, I'm going to actually award them again with a lead score point because although they unsubscribed and they are deducted 3 lead score points, in this case they want to get back in or they wanted to test out what would happen, right? I'm going to give them 1 lead score point because this actual lead is now become a little bit more important for me because I can basically send messages, send emails and stuff like that towards this specific user. So I want to go and say also add lead score points. Lead score point in this case. I'm going to add an item, advanced actions, trigger a workflow in my case, and I'm going to add 1 lead score point. And then they will go back towards the main flow, the main menu basically. But this is a good way to implement lead scoring inside of your chatbot based on the actions that a user does. And I did not set up the offer flow yet, but you can do this really easily. So if you determine, for example, that a lead must have 50 lead score points in order to receive your content, right? What you can do is go towards automation on the left-hand menu. You can go towards triggers, and from here you can set up a new trigger. The trigger will be, if you press the button in the top right corner, new trigger, and we're going to select the option user value changed. We're going to select the user field. In this case, it will be lead score points. And we can also select from options, has changed to exactly, and conditioned, right? So what I want to do is I want to have the lead score based on has changed to greater than or equal to, right? 50. Then I would also need a way for this, basically this trigger to not trigger again, right? Because if the lead score change and the user is still above 50 or equal to 50, then they will get this offer sent to them again. So what you could do is basically add a filter and you could tag a user as soon as they received your offer, right? So you could say tag is not in and then select any of your existing tags. I do not have this set up because I need to set up the lead magnet flow itself or the offer flow. But the tag could be something like lead received offer. So if this automation is triggered, lead score points is equal to or greater than 50, and the user has not a tag inside of lead received offer, then only send this flow that is connected towards this automation trigger. Otherwise, do not send this flow, right? So this condition is really, really important because it will determine to only send the offer once and not every single time, right? Because the offer will have its own little funnel. You're going to send the offer. In a few hours, you're going to check, did the user interact with it? Did the user respond to it? Did the user click towards your landing page, for example? If not, you're going to set up reminders based on the actions of the user, right? So you only want the user to basically enter that offer funnel only once. But this can all be done with lead scoring, determining when is the right time for you to send your offer, to pitch your offer about your product or your service with lead scoring. So I hope this video helped you out in understanding what lead scoring is and how it can help you qualify your potential customers from a prospect or lead status all the way to converting them into a customer, because this will also help you decrease your drop-off rates and increase your conversion rates, because you're only going to send the offers to the most qualified, active and engaging leads. So if you like this video, do consider dropping a like, because it will help me out reach more people. Also, let me know down in the comment section what you found about this video. Did you like it? Did it miss something that you would like to see inside the next video? Or do I need to do a follow-up video on this? Do let me know down in the comment section, because it will help me out understand what exactly it is that you want to see on this channel. So for now, have a great day, take care, and I will talk to you really, really soon.